Is asking price true value?
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
We're excited to be with you once again and that we've been able to create for you free access to over 403 free inside track access. Inside track access?
Yeah, you know, when you're racing, you get the inside track. Usually you're going to come out ahead.
You are, where we actually get to talk about things to help increase your knowledge base so you can make better decisions when it is time to make a decision. Huh?
Yeah.
Because it is about making wise decisions.
Yes.
And when we
yes.
talk about the true value, there is so much confusion about what true value is. And asking price, does it give me true value? What's the true definition of true value?
The definition of true value is the price that a willing buyer and a willing seller would come to, given the property has had an appropriate amount of exposure to the market, and neither the buyer or the seller are under undue duress or stress to buy or to sell.
Right. Meaning you're not making a bad decision. You're not feeling forced. Because have you noticed that often over my
fire sales,
except often what's happened with a fire sale is when somebody really needs to sell because they're in a high state of challenge in their life, right? And they've maybe waited too long to make the decision, or there's been a catastrophic event. And now it's time and it has to happen yesterday, not tomorrow.
Right.
Often those properties come onto the market at an inflated, over doable price.
Because I think they need the money.
Yeah.
And usually because they've been a delay in the maintenance, usually they're in inferior condition at a superior price, which is a poor combination.
Right. And so when there's stress, people will say, well, help me find the ones where people are in distress. It's like, actually,
look for the overpriced ones.
yeah. Let's just look for the overpriced ones and actually know your negotiating is going to be harder often, because when people are feeling desperate, they make desperate decisions that aren't always great.
Yep, sometimes.
Sometimes.
And it's interesting they call it a fire sale, because very rarely is it because there was a fire.
Yeah, like what's that about?
It just means, hey, we're in a hurry.
Right.
So some people will take advice. They say, oh, I need to sell this property. Like in a quieter market, if they said, oh, I need to sell this property within a week, then we might say, okay, then you want to put it on at a more aggressive price.
Right. And then depending on how soft the market is or how strong the market is, we might either strategize to delay offers or not delay offers, depending on where you're located. And some people just don't have the capacity to even deal with a strategy that is common in the marketplace because it's just not comfortable for them.
Yeah, it's not
so
easy.
It's taking into consideration everybody's values too.
So asking price in the market's not always an indicator of true value.
Often not.
Right. And then the other thing that I've found is, depending on what the market's doing, pricing your property incorrectly can have catastrophic results. In other words, if you're in a declining market, which Ottawa has only had 3 years in the 25 years I've been in the business and the 31 you've been in, it's only gone down 3 times.
And
I caused it.
I
know. 1994, 95, and 96. First 3 years I had my real estate license, prices went down. But if prices are going down and you price too high, what happens is you go, oh, I've been on the market 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, no purchaser. So I drop my price. But the market's gone down too. And then 30, 40, 90 days later, you go, oh, I still need to drop my price. So you're chasing the market. It's like chasing a ball down a hill.
It's really hard
to catch
You can
it.
pretty much, or a snowball, anything rolling downhill is pretty much impossible to get a hold on.
Right. Now, if you price too high in an escalating market, you're still probably going to sell lower than what you would hope for, but it's not going to be as catastrophic because the market's going to climb up and meet you over time.
It'll just take
longer. It's going to run into you.
Right.
You'll still sell sell lower because it's stale. It's been on the market too long. It's like stale bread. Would you pay full price for stale bread?
No, I wouldn't buy bread.
You wouldn't buy bread. I know. It's a bad example for you.
And yet, when something is old, we want the old model, the stale bread, anything that's been outdated. And in real estate, it's really a time game. How long's it been on the market? And that denotes stale, not the age of the property.
Right.
Right? Because it can happen to a brand new piece of property or build, and it could happen to a 150-year-old house. It just really depends on how is it priced relative to what the market demands today.
So if people want to see what properties are actually selling for,
not just asking for.
Right. So they would connect with us at info or at Together
at Decker
We got a
Team.
new email address.
Yeah, I'd like
Together at deckerteam.com, and just put in the subject like a market snapshot.
Yeah.
If they want to give us obviously their address, we're going to need their address to do some calculations and some basic information. And if they bought it, say 5 years ago, if you bought your house 5 years ago and you bought it through the MLS, we'll be able to pull the pictures and the size and different things like that. But if you could include in your email what you've done to the property, because if you put in a new kitchen, new bathroom, and new hardwood floors, we need to evaluate that when we're giving you a snapshot of maybe value. And we're going to give you a rough idea. If you want a really solid idea on value, then call us and we're going to get you to do a virtual tour of your home with your cell phone so that we can really get accurate.
Right. So then you'll have a more, that's like a custom, personalized, specific to what you have versus a neighborhood custom market snapshot. So we can either do neighborhood custom market snapshot, which is just that general overview of what's happening in your community.
Nice to keep track of, just so you know you're not thinking of selling, but it's kind of nice to know what's happening in the neighborhood.
Right. So that you're not shocked and that you can also better make decisions of what to do to your home. Because if you've hit the top end of your market for your kind of home in your community, you might not want to do the same level of improvements.
Right.
Over improving something, do it for yourself if you want to live in it, and yet don't do it because it's necessarily going to increase market value.
Now, this is a little tidbit that not everybody studies, and it's supply, demand, and trends.
Right.
Right? So, yes, you might find a similar property that's sold at a certain price, and they'll give you, this is roughly the price. But then what's your competition? If there's 3 or 4 similar properties in a similar area, now you've got competition. If you're in your area and there's no one else for sale in the price range, now you don't have competition.
Exactly.
And that may get you a little extra money.
Right. Like we have a client just coming to market now on $1 million property, and they're saying, how much can we sell it for? We're going to do it in 30 days. And it's like, I'll tell you in 30 days where we're going to price it, because it really depends. Are there 4 more on the market, or are you a standalone available in your community, a sought after community? It'll change the asking price by maybe $100,000 in that price range, depending on what is going on.
Right. So if you want to bust the myth, call us
and we'll
bust the myth on value.
Yeah, we'll give you the custom market snapshot.
Moving forward with the Decker Team. Moving forward together with the Decker Team.